Had you for an hour just before this. It was in camera. We asked some good questions and we got some answers. And so for the interest of transparency, I'm going to kind of re-ask similar questions and hope that we can get the same answers.
What?
Now, I noted that under the COUTESY Act for their threat reduction measures, that you have to get a warrant in order to move forward from the federal court. It's not clear under this legislation whether the government would need a warrant to move forward with the actions that they're giving themselves the power to do. Why is that?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for the question. So the powers under C8 concern the ongoing regulation in terms of the security of underlying infrastructure. So in the instance of telecommunications, it's Bell's network infrastructure. They do not engage with certain charter rights or privacy considerations in that context. That's similarly how telecommunications operators are currently regulated. So, for instance, in the allocation of spectrum licenses that are necessary to run their wireless networks, that's currently an authority under the Minister of Industry. And there's no need for judicial oversight.
So we talked about a specified person in the previous hour, and you told me that they're a legal entity, not necessarily a natural person. There's a concern that when you have legislation that's written to say that the minister has the authority to order the telecoms to cease providing services to a specified person, there's a fear that we're talking about individual Canadians. Can you provide us with, if you believe an individual Canadian is a threat to the telecommunications system, there was degrading the system, disrupting the system, manipulating the system, why is there no requirement for a warrant in that case?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for the question. In the context, if I understand the question correctly, for instance, in the regarding the authority to withdraw services from an entity. In that context, so first of all, the authorities are scoped in terms of needing to protect the Canadian telecommunications system. So that means that the individual commentary of Canadians or their ongoing traffic online is not germane to that, just in practical terms. So that would be in the context, for instance, of a distributed denial of service attack, which is flooding a network and preventing essentially the operation of it for other Canadians. The use of that authority needs to be reasonably necessary to advance the stated goal. So it can't just be on a whim. It needs to actually be tied to the gravity of the threat that's in question. And we are dealing with circumstances that where time is of the essence, where these are services that Canadians rely on for life and death, be able to call 911 or to do things of that nature. And so there are considerations about being able to move quickly.
Why the secrecy? Why are there the secrecy provisions provided in this?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for the question. So generally speaking, the secrecy provisions are both not necessary and not operationalizable. So when we're dealing with equipment that applies to all telecom carriers, 99.9% of the time, we're going to be going out with a public consultation with rules, and we want everyone to know the rules of the road. There can be some specific circumstances where, for instance, an operator has a vulnerability in their network that's very specific, where disclosing that vulnerability would essentially invite hackers to flood the zone while that operator is trying to get that under control. So that's the use case for the confidential order-making provision. It does include oversight, for instance, notification requirements to NCIRA and NSICOP so that they have line of sight and ensure that the power is being used appropriately. It's also subject to the annual reports to Parliament. So even though...
Is there an opportunity for judicial review? Like if somebody feels that these decisions are infringing on their charter rights?
Well, we're waiting.
Certainly anyone can go to the courts with an application of judicial review. And
but what if it's secret? Like if they've been ordered that they can't say anything, how would they go to the courts?
We still need to consult the affected parties. Like that's a bedrock. That's a provision of the bill, and it's also a bedrock provision of administrative law. So, like though the entity affected still needs to have the opportunity to make their case about how the order may affect them, and they can go to the court. As well as, again, the notification to review bodies and the annual report to Parliament, which even if it doesn't disclose the individual, like the detailed nature of the order, still needs to describe the activities as well as their necessity.
Is there a time limit on those things? Like it says specified time. I only have 10 seconds left.
Yes.
So.
We have 90 days to notify and Sarah Cop, and the report to Parliament is tabled annually.